So hello and welcome everyone. Uh, Hello Aitat, hi Christos Valentis. Uh, I hope you are all doing well. Today we have a kind of a special event with Christos with us.
Hello.
Thank you, Christos, for taking the time and joining us today and in the next uh,
Yeah.
episode of this series. So let me take my script. All
Thank
right.
you for having me, Slim.
Uh, all right. So it's a series actually of talks. It's a new thing that we are doing at SHA. We used to make some kind of standalone events, as most of you already know. And this event is special because it will be a recurring one where we will build a full stack application. It will be a news aggregation that will scrap the news. It will summarize it using AI and generate an audio for the summary. And we will cover many other interesting topics with Christos, who's a software engineer and he's also a consultant. So I will leave the stage to you, Christos, to present yourself and tell us more about what we will be building today. Just one last thing for our audience. If you have any question, we are kind of splitting this session into parts, and when we move from one part to another, that's the Q&A session, and Christos will let you know when we reach that moment, and that's when you can ask your questions in the chat. So let's get into it, Christos. The stage is yours.
Okay. Okay, Slim, thank you for having me. I'm glad to talk to this community, to have a talk and present this project and how we make that project from the following talks. I'm a software engineer for more than 10 years, and I have built many products from accommodation and to financial technologies and so on, from many things. And right now, I would like to offer to the community some of my time as a give
That's
back.
great, and thank you for
Okay.
that.
All right.
And yeah, Christos joined our community, and he was actually kind of the igniter of this idea. So thank
Okay.
you very much for that, Christos.
All right. And this project is a pet project, more or less. It's not something that it's making money or something like that. It's more to test some technologies and having a base project to give talks on top of that. So this news aggregator is a product for me. I would like something like that, and I built it to explore both the technologies and the concepts and how I would like to consume news from now on. So I create this series of talk with in mind that every talk will be autonomous, and there will be this project underlying that will explore features by feature and techniques that I learned through these years, and that's it. More, I don't know if we would like to tell to our audience something more about this or.
I think we can go ahead. So the idea is that we will be building this application throughout the duration of the talks. We will have like a session, if you can call it like this, once per month, more
less.
or less. And yes, to answer Patrick's question, it is recorded and it will be shared on our YouTube channel, like as usual, the day tomorrow, or more or less 24 hours. And for the duration of the session, to answer ATAT, it's 1 hour. All right.
I will try to match that time. Okay. So let's talk about the project first, and what is. I don't know if I could share my tab.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead, share your screen. I will add it, and I will get off the stage, and I will jump when we have the Q&A thing.
Okay. So let's talk about the project and what I was trying to do. I had this need to read news and to follow up the events, global and local, in my country. But the thing is that it's too much text, so I would like to summarize it. There are many technologies to do that, but right now we have the AI and the ChatGPT and all that. So I would like to build something to do that. So I started this project to first scrap news around the news feeds. I will just show you. This is the site that I parse right now, and this generates a list of articles to my project. So when I navigate to one of these articles, it's not just the title and the intro of this article, but it's also generate a summarization using the OpenAI API, and it's just in time generation. When I click to another article, it takes its time, and after a while generate line by line what is talking about. In this example, it's 89% smaller than the original article. And that was the first part. I would like to not read it at all. So I built the second part that was to hear it. So if I ask to read the summary, this
Gaming
text
laptops have evolved to be thinner,
going,
lighter, and more.
I don't know if you could hear the input of my PC, but
yes, we heard it.
Yeah. For this part, I use the Azure text to speech service. So I give the text, and it returns an audio file that will just play to the browser. And this is the core needs for me. And to be more on topic, this was the main parts of that project. And what I will try to do for this series of talks is that not only present you the technologies and the software engineer part of a project build like that, but why I doing these things, why I choose to build this specific feature, and trying to think about this project as a product more and less than just a script or something that needs to be built. And this was just for me. Now it's not so. There is not so many visitors, but this was a project that was solving a need of mine, and mainly I start from that. I was trying to find what I need and then build something around it. And for the first three parts of this talk is right there to solve the main components, the main things that need to address, and then have all the others around it. For the example is that an authentication of such a project like a Google authentication and Facebook authentication here, it's important to this project, but it is not important in that product as a need. The main things are to have a summarize of an article, first to get an article, then to have a summary of that article, and then to have an audio of that summary. So, today I will start with parsing of an article and how we could get an article from or a page from any website, and that's the scrapping technique. This technique is not only for news, because right now it is used more or less to the generation of the data for AI training. So it's a part of many potential products that you would like to build. And okay, I have notes too. Let's don't get too far. And I will start with a simple script. Let me switch. Okay, don't need that here. And let's get right into it, to a simple script. I will use Node.js for that. Well, let's talk about web scraping a little bit before that. Web scraping, it's a technique to get the pure HTML and of a website, of anything, and convert that to meaningful data. For our project is to get an article and convert it to data like the title and the body of the title, maybe the date of publish and the author. To do that, we just hit the website, like opening a browser and open the tab and open the website, and then parse the content, the pure content of that page, to convert it to the data set that we can manipulate and do whatever we want. This technique, it's not that simple. It's simple. It's a simple task. It's to begin with, but after a while it's getting a little difficult, because websites usually fight that web scraping. Maybe sometimes they include in the terms of use that you cannot web scrape that website, and it's okay for us today because we just using educational purpose, but you have to comply with that and try not to do any bad stuff. I don't know, But here we scrape public data that anyone can access, and the websites and website creators fight that technique using other tools like CAPTCHA or proxy services that will stop you after a while if you try to hit many times that website. And you may get an IP blocked, and then you cannot access the website. Matter of fact, I have implemented in another project the exact opposite technique. I have used services to block bots that scraping my website. So it's a fight, a continuous fight between someone that wants the data and someone that does not want to give that data. And the first script we will see, it's a simple Node.js that will use the node fetch library. It's a library that just get a URL and return the content. And let's go step by step of what this function do, and then let's run it to see the output. The first thing is that getting the URL and returning to the request object. This will contain many things, but we want the main part that we want is the content and the source code of the website. And let's see what this is. I will try to show you. Okay. Present. Okay. This is news about the Social Hacker Academy, and we see that it's mostly JavaScript and HTML, all smushed together by some compressor or anything. But this is a text. After all, it's a text. So this library parse all that text and return it in a more compact format. And let's go back to fetch. And with using the function .text, I will request from that object the source code of that page. The next two lines are a bit more difficult because I have manually checked this source of code of HTML and build the regex function that will extract the thing that I call title. I just told you a lie because this was written by the copilot and I tested that it was working correctly. But this is a simple technique is used for many years to get parts of this body of HTML. There are other techniques like XML navigation and to go to node per node and get what you need from that source. The next one is the same technique, the using regex, and this returns the content. So a colleague of mine was asking, are you sure about that? How do you know that every website is using this line. It's using the content of their article inside an article tag, HTML tag. And the thing is that news sites usually, and the most popular ones, usually do that because it helps them to have a better SEO and to be more visible to the bots that would like to scrap their websites, like the Google and the Google bots and other ones. So they want to scrap us. They want us, and they want for the bots to scrap their websites in such a manner. And it's not foolproof, but it's good enough. And this will return the content of the article, the main article, to this value content. And so I return this object, title and content for that function. So for this example, I have this URL and use this function to return that article. I move it inside and try catch. So maybe there's an error. Maybe I could not reach that page, or I have no internet connection. So this will break things. And this is the result. But to run this script, I just use node fetch, and after a few milliseconds, it will return the object that this is the title and this is the content of this article. And it's a rather big content because it includes both the real content and the HTML tags of this page. We will see in the next talks how we can clean this content and make it more appropriate to give for summarization and other things. But it was just that simple script of 7-8 lines to fetch a site like that. And this is the first part of how we did single request to scrap a website. And before we move on to the how we make this better, maybe you have any question for the for the project or for this script, and then I move on to the next part. See?
Yes, if you can scroll a bit up to the beginning of the script,
Yeah.
and let me try to recap. So here, what we are doing, we are trying to get some data from a website. So we created a function to which we give the URL of that website. And inside this function will use the node fetch library. So there is already some piece of code that is doing this for us and giving it to us to use it.
Yeah.
Like a car, you don't need to know everything how it's built, but you know how to use it.
This is more that a fundamental library, like not a car, an engine, or the body of the car. It's something that
something basic, very easy to use. Yeah. So then the first line, what we did, we created a variable. We called it request, and in that variable we fetched the website. with the URL, so the website content, all of it. That's what you showed us with the example of Social Hackers Academy, right?
All right. Yeah, correct.
Yes. Okay.
This example was inside the source. Is the text of this website?
The text of the website.
The browser, how the browser see that website.
All right. So first step, we brought the whole website as it is. Then the second line was to make it more readable to us by using the .text method.
Yeah.
And we've put that in another variable that we called source. And then what Christos is doing here, like he wants to get from all that source the parts that are titles and the parts that are articles. You don't need anything else. Yeah. And for that, you use the method .match. And this .match, you tell it like it needs, which is the regex. So we need to give some context about
guidance.
regex. Yeah. So regex, it's a bunch of gibberish that to which you
only
give
bots understand.
Yeah, to which you can give it like I want when it looks. So it's like I want you to bring me the part of this text that has a certain pattern, let's say, and that gibberish is the pattern. You don't need to know that in detail. You can Google stuff like this. Yeah. No one knows them. And so here we are bringing the H1, so headings. Thank you, Christos. Yeah. So the heading for the titles and then the articles for the content. So we are bringing them separately, the titles alone and the articles alone. And here, something you mentioned about your friend asking you about how do you know if everyone is using article? Most, in general case, like serious news websites, they do that. If you are targeting specifically another website that is not, then you can go open your web developer tool, have a look on how they are structuring, and then you can still get the article. You just need to adjust your gibberish. And and then the last part is to return what we got, the title and the content. And then if we scroll a bit down, Christos, please. Here we kind of we invoke the function. Yeah. So we are executing it, and we are telling, so if it works, console log the article. Otherwise, if we are getting an error for any other reason, we need to know. And that's what we are doing with console logging the error. Yeah. So this is the summary. Now, if anyone has any question.
All right.
I guess we don't have questions, so maybe we can move to the next part. Thank you, Christos.
Okay. So, the pain point here is that this regex is it may change. So an article, let's say, it's under this. A header is like under this, but maybe after a while something changes, and no, not only that, but some other things might change that we currently don't know. And when we use a simple script like that, it's okay to just debug it line by line and check what it does not do not work and fix it. But today we are not using those simple techniques, but we have moved to the using of libraries, of credible libraries that show that in the time that improve themselves, and developers update and make them better. And for this whole script, there is such a library, and I will move to this script, and it's article extractor, and this library pretty much do what we did, but with many edge cases covered, and most of the time, if something changes, if it's an open source, so someone will make a comment or even better a pull request to fix it. And we kind of getting from this community like free code. Okay, it's not just free. We should support those libraries even more if we use it to make money. But the thing is, and the point here is that when we design a project like the one today, we first start simple by testing our ideas with a simple script, and see if what we think it's applicable to that problem. But after a while, we cannot scale it. We cannot use. We cannot create a script for everything. Soon we will be overwhelmed by the cases and the things that we need to address. So we use libraries, and it's impressive that this library do all that we done before without need to know how and how it works underlying. And if I run this script, it will not only fetch us a cleaner version of the content and the title, but it will give us the description and the image of this article, and having more like how much time to read this, how much seconds I believe I need to read that article and more. So this second step is to give you this idea that it's not magic. Some parts, the core parts under those libraries that we are using and you are using, having code just seem like this one, but we have other things to look in those libraries, like how much is maintained. It have recent updates, have security issues that is published, and how much it follows the new things that the updates of the underlying technology, like some libraries here, they are not. It's not usable under the latest node version, and so we cannot use them after a while. But if it's a credible library and they have a community, this is is not likely to happen. And with that, okay, just in time, Slim, I think it's a very easy to understand software. It's more like why I'm using this library, and other than the extra data that it provides, it's the idea of after all, we need to find libraries when we're building products, that having those properties, like I mentioned, to be maintained, to be in good quality, how testable are those, and so on. And we are going to use many libraries for the next talks, and I will try to talk you about those. But the thing is that anyone should do his own research, because things constantly change. And okay, this is the second
Yeah.
part. Okay.
So I would like to summarize again. So
Yeah.
for those who are new in coding and so on, so look at the libraries as your mobile applications that you download. So they are tools that will do something for you. You don't need to build them. And when you are downloading, which is the thing which is good with these libraries that are, as Christos said, open source. So when it's open source, you have access to it. You don't need to pay for it, but you need to know. And then, if no one is, let's say, paid to do that work, you need to be sure if that's something that will stay with you on the duration of your project, not to be working on your project and in the middle to have the application not working correctly, and to know that, like the mobile application have some rating, you go read comments and so on. Also for the libraries, you can go and check how often are they updated. They do have ratings. You can check also for that. You can check people comments. And so the idea is, you need, in this project, like, we know what are the core functionalities of the application. We know our needs. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. And we can look for everything you think of. There must probably someone before you who thought about it and potentially put that in code for people to use. That's how the dev community works. It's amazing. Yeah. So you just check and then you use the yeah, go ahead.
And after a while, it's for a more advanced software engineer, it's better to just improve an existing library if think that something need to change, instead of creating another thing, another library, and missing all the other work of all other developers globally that improve that one. Okay.
So I think yeah. One last thing, and the difference for you to look at it as like this: when using a mobile application, you can interact with it through your visually and through the graphical interface. With library, the only difference is that you interact with it with typing some code, and the library itself tells you how to use it. So you can go and find the documentation for it and understand how to use its methods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the stage is yours again, Chris.
Okay. And even using this library, it's not a silver bullet, because I told you in the beginning, sorry, that there are ways to websites to fight back and this scraping, and sometimes they don't fight back, but they don't expose the source code into just the HTML. So I'm sure you know that with React or Angular, and generally with single page applications, the HTML code is generated just in time, reactively, from the APIs that this website calls. But those things happen with JavaScript, and this technique of scraping that we see right now do not execute JavaScript. And so even if we open the browser and navigate to this URL, we eventually see an article with everything. When we fetch it with this library or with our simple script, we don't see anything. So these challenges can be overcome with other techniques, more sophisticated, I believe. One of those is using a library again, but this one has a browser inside. So in a few words, what is a Puppeteer? It's an automated way to use a browser like Chrome. Like if I'm having a friend right here and tell them go to that website and please copy the source code to chat. So with Puppeteer, we just we don't code more, but we tell with a process of what we need the browser to do. And using this technique will allow us to fetch websites that using some blockage techniques like the agent, the user agent. I will talk to you in a few moments about it. And the thing that using the Puppeteer waits for the JavaScript to execute. And the problem with Puppeteer is that we need more memory because he will load a browser to do his work, and it's probably slower because they need all the things to happen before we just fetch a website from the internet. And let's go to the extract function again using the Puppeteer. I'm sure I will have Slim to help me after that to explain a little bit better. But the thing is that it's not so much different from the other, because it's only this part that really changed. The first part is that we launch the Puppeteer, and this with the following parameters to be headless and with no sandbox arguments. There are more parameters. Probably we should use in a production environment more parameters, but these two parameters do the headless. I'm sorry, the headless parameter is will not create a browser visually to our computer. We don't need to see a browser. Just hide it and do what I say. It's more or less. And the second one is the arguments that will pass to this browser. I think the Puppeteer library using the by default the Chrome browser, but we could set up it to use Firefox or Chromium if we go for something like open source. And this argument tells the browser to not sandboxing the website. It's anyway, the thing is that this argument will not limit our browser to some security things, and we'll have the pure function that we need, that is to get the content of the website. And the first thing we do when we open the browser is to create a new page, a new tab, and we tell to the Puppeteer to go to that URL. and it like open this browser, launch the Chrome, create a new tab, and then go to that page. And the state of that browser stays in this function, so we don't need to return any value from any object from that function. We just be in that page. And after that, it's pretty much the same thing, because we get the content. This the Puppeteer named that function content. It's the same as the text from the script that we first used. And after that, we use the same regex function to extract the title and the content. Before we return, we close the browser. This is a common practice to free up the memory of our computer. It's a thing that we need to always have in mind, even though that many things are automatic, and nowadays we need to know the limits of our systems. After a few talks, I will talk to you about the performance of the project, and how we create things like the Puppeteer that use too much memory, but we don't want to have a huge data center to create something simple. So if we have, let's say, 1 gigabyte of memory, how many pages could we process? If I need to parse 20 websites, that any website have 100 articles, those thousands of articles will need to be processed together. So if I open so many tabs in a browser, it will probably crash. And for that, I need to make decisions of what are my resources. In more a business environment, those maybe those are fixed from the product owners of the upper management, but a software engineer need to know those limits and use proper techniques to create the software around those limits. Probably be as close as to the limits, but not exceed it. So to get back to this function, it will close the browser and free up some memory, and after that we just return the title and the content, just we did in the first script, and we have again this data. So if I try to load, I don't. Okay, warnings. No, it's okay. But if you could see, if we sense like me, it was a bit 1 second, and the first script was half a second. So it took more time to fetch this article, but probably in an example that have the things that I first told you, like the need of execution of the JavaScript, if it was an Angular project, and if we had some other things that this website was trying to fight back the scraping, like one issue is the and now if I will go out of my script, but sometimes websites do not want other browsers like the Puppeteer browser to scrape the website. So what they are saying is, if your browser is a Puppeteer browser, return an error. And it's okay, because we can just just tell the puppeteer that don't tell that website that we are a puppeteer website. Tell them that we are just a regular user, and this is done using the user agent header. We could search at the web for real user agents. This is constantly changing for every browser because it changes the versions and the Chrome. This is a Chrome of version 64, and using a real user agent most of the times tell the website that look, this is a real user and he needs to access your website, so it will probably allow us. Another technique that the websites are using is to stop the constantly hitting from specific IPs. So this technique will look like at it in the future talk of how we be as polite as we can to all these news sites and ask them as kindly as we can for their content. And with that, I believe I'm done with scripts and how we scrape a website using these libraries. Before going to the questions, of course, this is not the final boss. There are things even more complicated than Puppeteer. Not more complicated, but more sophisticated. There are services that are doing that exactly thing, scraping other websites. So we could always use a third-party service that will give it the URL and return us the content and the properties without us worrying about CAPTCHA and IP blockage and other things, but with a cost. So for a pet project like our news aggregator, even the simple library like Extractus, the actual Extractor is enough because I tested with the most of our for my articles that I would like to parse, and it was working just fine. And with that, I believe I'm okay. I'm done with the scripts and the things of why and how we did that. And I don't know if you have any questions or any of our attendants.
Yes. I would like again to go back to giving context. I think let's keep the screen sharing. Maybe we need it. So Puppeteer actually is your virtual friend, but imagine it as a puppet. Like you can understand from the name. So you are the puppeteer and you have a puppet. And that puppet does exactly what you want it to do, as if it was like a being, like a physical being going on the browser for you. So you tell Puppeteer, I need you to open this URL. It opens it in the browser. So the difference to the two previous scripts, it doesn't behave, they doesn't behave like this. Like the two other scripts, they ask the website to give the data in a text format. Puppeteer also brings you the text format, but in a workaround way. So it goes like, for example, here you didn't see the browser open and so on and so forth, but you can see Puppeteer at work if you want. Like you can see Puppeteer opening a browser, going to a specific page, clicking some buttons, and these kind of things. So, and this you can also put it in the first lines of code.
Okay.
Of Puppeteer, yeah. So so there, for example, if you want to see Puppeteer in action, if I understood well, Christos, you just need to change headless.
Yeah, if I remove the headless property, it will open the browser to.
Let's use it to if you would like.
Yeah,
to...
I will have to because I screen share one.
You are sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem then. No problem. So then, yeah. So you get the idea. So Puppeteer. So with the two previous scripts, some website doesn't allow code to interact with their code, and they have some security measures. Puppeteer is a way to do that, to behave as a user. But always when using this kind of libraries and softwares, now we are doing it for learning purposes, but you always need to take the legal perspective in consideration before doing anything.
There is always need to check the terms of use of the websites. Then if they explicitly tell you not to do such things, you should probably not you shouldn't do it. And it's not if I have to answer to that's and it's not illegal, I believe, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But this tool, this specific tool, could be used for other purposes. If you would like to test your website, let's say to access and test if something you have changed something else, you could use Puppeteer. There are other tools to test visual testing websites, but it's a tool that we would use for that. So the tool as a tool is not something
illegal to use.
Illegal, but yeah, it's a process, and if you should do what you do, that it's illegal. And I believe if there are things that need to be addressed. The robots.txt file of a website may tell you what not to access, because there are parts of the website that you don't really need a bot there. If I have time to give an example of this application, let's go off the script for 1 minute and give you an example of how other bots have an impact to the where it goes. Sorry, news. And so in this example, I had a report button in this article. In every article, I have a report button that it goes to a report page. This page automatically reports me that this summary is not okay for any reason. Other bots that come to news project to scrap my website, even though I have explicitly tell them not to go there, they go. So in the first couple of weeks, I have a huge list of reported everything, but they shouldn't go. There is no point of going there. It's done nothing. But here I didn't have any problem to just go to a website and scrape the content. So sometimes we should, I believe, every time we need to read the terms and use these techniques correctly and legally. And maybe you work for a company that scrapes his own websites. So this technique is good to know, but use it responsibly.
Thank you, Christos. Yes, I mean, Puppeteer is a tool. As any other tool, like a knife, you can use it to cut potatoes, and you can use it for illegal stuff. So it's the same thing. So, for example, like, and as Christos said, Puppeteer can be used to other stuff. It's not only used to scrap and collect data. It happened that in this example, it is useful to use this aspect of Puppeteer. Regarding the legal aspect, if you are, let's say, like in our example, going to a website to scrap their data. So the question that you asked, for example, I asked, is it legal to produce content from other pages? So is it legal to scrap other pages and so on? You need to ask that page. I mean, so there you have a way to know if they allow or not. So if not, you shouldn't do it. So that's how you approach it.
In this project specifically, I do not present anywhere their content. Even the description that you are looking is from the RSS feed. So it's voluntarily give that content to their users. So I do not use their content in my website. I'm using to generate the summary, so it's a little bit gray of area because no one has already addressed of how AI tools are working right now. What the legal thing, but anyhow, it's not a product. I'm not making money from it. So if a website tell me to stop using, I will probably do. But anyway, it's a more for educational product, a pet project rather than a product. And so I'm using their content. I'm creating some other content, deviate content, but it's a huge talk. It's a talk probably for more than a few minutes of how this will work in the future.
So it was for me an amazing session, Christos. It was exciting, as Aitat said, and in the next sessions we will cover some other aspects of the other functionalities, and we will continue what we are doing.
Probably for the next, I will give the summarization feature of how we took that article and then produce the summary of that article. This is in my mind.
Okay, great. So thank you all for joining. I know some of our students have a session in a few times, so let's good luck with that, guys. Thank you again, Christos, and see you all in the next episode of this amazing event.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.